Hey everyone, how y'all doing tonight? Y'all doing all right? Y'all kicking back? Y'all chilling? Welcome to Let's Bring It to the Table. So I'm gonna ask you to have a seat if you choose to. If you wish to sit at this table, just pull up your chair. Hope you got a plate with something on it, because we're about to go through a ride tonight. Again, welcome to Let's Bring It to the Table, where we discuss ways to improve our lives by addressing issues that directly affect us. I'm not sure if this is going to trigger anyone. I hope it don't. But our topic today is, when did we stop pushing through? When did we stop? I would like to know. Don't forget, share, share this live, share it, put it out there in the atmosphere. Sharing is caring. If you're not following us, need you to click the Q code that I'm putting up. Just click on it, and you'll be able to follow. And then you can like us, and then you can share our page. Um, as again, sharing is caring, as I always say. And at this table, we appreciate it, because when we feed you and your belly's full, that's the least you can do. So, y'all, when I was thinking about this topic, and I've been thinking about it for several days, I know a lot of you might be looking for the business aspect of it, but this is part of it because, not just in life for personal reasons, but life itself and business and in personal, your overall everything. Why is it that we stop pushing through? You know what I'm saying? Do y'all get what I'm saying? Talk to me. Tell me if you understand that. Because I'm trying to understand, because a lot of times um, people, no matter something, the littlest thing can happen, and they just stop. They let it stop them in their tracks. But why? And when I'm thinking about this and everything, this these lyrics. I can't play the song because Facebook would freeze this off or whatever it always do, or ban me for a couple of days. So I'm just gonna read to you the lyrics to this song. It's by Kurt Carr. And I remember when, sometimes this song has been a help to me in my darkest point sometimes, especially when I had to use my words, when I always, like, when I couldn't pray. A lot of people go to scriptures. I don't go to scriptures like that. Um, there's only one scripture that I took to my heart and my soul, and that was me not leaning on my own understanding, but I give honor to God and I allow Him to direct my path. That's all in everything, whether it's in relationship, whether it's in um, my job, whether it's in my or any relationship, being with someone or being with friends or being with family or whatever, because I know how this flesh is. And if I allow this flesh sometime to get in the way, I will destroy everything in my path. I just know me. I don't know about y'all. I don't know a lot of people that's willing to even share that, to say, to be honest with themselves, because that's what we do every day. Instead of pushing through, we rather stop and just allow things to just destroy. We are becoming more the majority, which I call the walking dead, because we're not woke like we used to be. But back to the lyrics. We'll talk more on it. Um, the lyrics go, it's by Kurt Carr. And some of y'all already know, it's Almost Let Go. I almost let go. I felt like I couldn't take life anymore. My problems had me bound. Depression weighed me down. And that's a true statement. Been there. And I stopped um, for a minute because that resonates a lot. But God held me close so I wouldn't let go. God mercy kept me so I wouldn't let go. I almost gave up. I was right at the edge of a breakthrough, but I couldn't see. Couldn't see it. And in this part right here, questionable because I don't think that the devil had me. I think it would, when people always, I really truly believe that we have this thing of not taking accountability. That's why I always say, we give up, we don't go through it. We say the devil really had me, but Jesus came and grabbed me. He held me close so I wouldn't let go. God mercy kept me so I wouldn't let go. And then, then things live up. You become the testimony, So I'm here today because God kept me. I'm alive today only because of his grace. Oh, he kept me. God kept me. He kept me so I wouldn't let go. I felt like I couldn't take life anymore. My problems had me bound. Depression weighed me down. But I just want to know, can anyone answer that? Anyone out there, can you answer why did we stop in this day and time in 2023? Why did we stop pushing through? I can understand because a lot of people can relate. We'll have that ugly cry, we'll get up, shake it off, and keep it pushing. But then there's those who have that ugly cry and they dwell right there. They don't move. They stay right there. When that's not what they used to do. When do we become a part of the walking dead? I know a lot of people might not understand it. That's why I say you can't blame the devil for what you decide to do. Now, if you invite the evilness in your life, you still can't blame him because you did that. You did that, not him. We give the devil too much credit about things that goes on in our life. We do. We give him to the devil had done this and he put this block up here. No, you put that block up there. You did that. He ain't had anything to do with that. But he likes the fact that you're giving him credit because you're lying. When did we start taking ownership for the actions that we put place on our life? When did we make excuses? We start pushing through and we justify, we blame other people, and we take no ownership. We don't even fight. Remember that song, We Fight for Our Rights? Why we stop? It is now September the 13th, 2023, 7:09. Have anyone met any of their goals from their vision boards, from their journals? Have any of their affirmation or anything that you put in place, have it came to pass? Or did you just, and it irks me because you talk the talk and you don't walk the walk. More than now than ever, I'm listening when your actions don't align to your words. When you talk in your talk, but you don't walk your walk. Because people will feed you anything and it don't make sense. So, what are y'all doing? Are y'all just going to stay complacent where you at? Or are you going to move forward? Are you going to, or are you going to be, and it bothers me a lot. That's why I kind of picked this because, I know a lot of people might have forgot. I know a lot of people probably don't remember or whatever the doggone case might be. But, I lost my spiritual mom around this time. August the 28th, she passed away. We buried her on September the 11th. And her words echo to me. And it's like an impact when she sat up there because she was everything to everybody. And she thought she had enough time to be where she needed to be for her. And she begged God for more time. She begged him. I don't know if I was supposed to hear that. I don't know if I was supposed to live that, but that's a nightmare in my head of keeping me woke into I don't want to be that. I don't want to live my last days and then justify and say, "Oh well, I didn't get to do everything I want. Okay, it wasn't meant to be." When everything is meant. It's meant. Everything, anything and everything, but you got to get up off your butt and do it. You can't say you can't procrastinate in that. Time is because of us. Because God doesn't live on that plateau of time. We created time. We're the ones who are aging instead of thinking we're young, thinking we can be where we want to be in life and what we want to do. We don't have to consider time in the manner that man has considered time. Yeah, you can make a schedule and get things timelined down to whatever, but when it comes down to you and what you decide to do and where you want to be and everything that you're doing, you got plenty of time. I told my dad once because I guess you could say he was going through a old man crisis, and because he had friends that was passing away around him. And Dad, if you didn't want me to say this, I'm sorry, but I just feel like they need to get an understanding on this. That it really bothered him, really, really bothered him. And I said, "What going on with them ain't your business." Where they were at in their time of completion, because everybody has a time of completion, and when in your time of completion, only you and God know. You will know when your time of completion comes. Trust. You'll know. Sometimes it comes in a quick second before it happens. Sometimes it don't. Like everybody has a time of completion. But you guess what? The one thing you do have a choice in speaking life into your destiny. I always say I'm gonna live to be 100. I really feel like I'm gonna live to be 100, and I'm gonna be getting it in, living my life. I don't know about anybody else, but I am. What about you? Do you think that you can live to be 100? I've seen people who do it. You know, I think it's a great goal. And I think if anybody's up for the challenge, hey, let's go for it and live life. Living life does not mean going to work and coming home, going to church and coming home. It's more to life than that. But guess what? I do understand that some people, this is just their destiny because they won't change their mindset. They're so focused and so gone ho and so complacently to be in misery, if that's what you want to call it. But like I said, I know a lady, she was retiring before I left the other job that I was at. And when she was walking, and I said, "Hey, congratulations on retiring." And she had this look of hurt on her face. And I asked her, "Are you okay?" Because she didn't look happy. 65 and she wasn't happy. And she said, "I've been working here since I was 17 years old, basically almost doing the same thing I've been doing day in and day out. I don't know nothing else. I don't even know what I'm going to do." I just looked at her and I said, "Wow, well, at least you got some time to figure it out." She married, had babies, have a husband, and all she did was go to work, go to church, took care of her kids, never traveled, never experienced life outside of her environment of where her equation was at. No thought process to that. Is that what we're doing? We're being robotic to the American way. Is this the American way? Are we're governed to how America want us to be? Is this what we doing? Is that what y'all want to do? I thought abundance was greater than that. I thought living in an abundance, when you're asking God to give you an abundance, it's greater than that. You have to be your mindset has to be a lot different than what it is now. How many people can sit up here and tell me? I want y'all to put it in the comments. I'll wait. Put it in the comments. How many of you who started in January, the end of January, with me, can easily say that they have met half of what they stated they wanted in their life, have made it come to pass, have manifest what they wanted? How many? I remember young ladies having conversations with each other, and they were talking about the type of cars they wanted. They weren't talking about no little stuff. They were talking about some big boss cars, BMWs and Mercedes Benz, and just to name a few. But and when I'm telling you, I could feel the energy from them that they meant that. I know two got their cars last month. Two, yeah, they spoke that thing up, and it has come to pass. They worked on it, but not like you think, like every day thinking about it, whatever, whatever. They went on with their life, but they spoke life. Do y'all understand how manifestation works? I still haven't seen anyone say anything in the comments. I guess nobody, and I'm gonna take it because no saying anything to me means that you haven't met any of your goals. I've met mine. I've met mine. I still got more to go. And some of them I know are can be reachable, but right now they're unreachable, but I'm reaching. I'm gathering the steps to get there. So how many of y'all know exactly what it takes to manifest? I ain't talking about I mean really truly manifest what you want. Whether it be children, whether it be good health, whether it be nice things, whether it be a house, more abundance mentally, physically, emotionally. Do you really actually know what it takes? Can anyone tell me? I feel like people should be able to be transparent. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Um, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. And there's nothing wrong with that. Um, I'm here to tell you, manifestation is not as hard as some people say it is. Even in these difficult times when we have to push through things, and everybody has a period in their life where it gets hard. It really, really gets hard to go through and do, and do. Sanita said, I don't. Oh, baby girl. All right, you in the right place today. And we're gonna start small. Tell me one thing, or you don't even have to tell me, because sometimes what people want to manifest can be personal. But I want you to think about that one thing, that one desire of your heart. And and you have to start small to get to the big things, because I'm a firm believer when God said, when you show him that you are able to handle small things, he'll give you greater. So tell me one thing that you want to manifest. Okay? But like I was saying, even through tough periods, sometimes all we have to do is change our perspective. With business, personal, our mental, our emotional, there's a lot of variables in our difficult times and circumstances on how much we handle and how we deal with it. I'm not saying life is easy, but what I'm saying is you think about it. You think about the harshness of our forefathers, our ancestors, and what they went through. You know what I'm saying? In slavery. When did they have a good time? There was just twinkles of what you would consider a good time. That's the way I see it, just twinkles. Because they had to work their butts off. There were times when there was no sleep. There were times when they didn't have, you know, a tunnel where the light would end. Some of them died in slavery. Some of them got out, but their skin was thick because they had to pursue. And why I'm saying this is because for us as a people, determination of survival and to have better is innate in us. But what's also innate in us is giving up and allowing, and that's called being broken. A lot of our people, when it was in slavery, they were mentally broken, and they was like, well, this is just it for me. They didn't have the fight to persist, but there was a lot of them that persisted on and found ways, even to killing the slave owners in order to get out, or even causing a revolution to get out. Look how Hades did. They fought and got their freedom. They were very persistent because they were motivated and determined, because this was not their way. Every battle that we face is that arise, because there's always a rise and fall in the seasons. It's hurricane season. That's going to be a difficult time for many. But but it's still going to be difficult. But once it settles, then you still got to struggle to get back on top. But that's just the way life give us. Y'all get what I'm saying? But we persist on, and and sometimes I know some people might say, well, you need to push back. You need to not do. But my thing is, I have to force myself to push through. I have to continue to move forward, because my journey's not over until I say. And when I say is when God say. And until then, I'm going to keep persisting, because the concepts in my head and the habits that I'm trying to force in place to keep me on task and to challenge me every day, I think that a lot of times people get too comfortable because they think they're where they need to be, or they think they got where they want to be. And that's not, and to me, that's the furthest from the truth. If you look at the one percenters, I don't know a one percenter that got out there and said, I made it, I'm done. None of them. Because there is too much in life for them to do. They haven't stopped. You look at Bill Gates and the rest of them. They are philanthropists. They give money away faster than they can make it. They buy up land. They have different types of assets. They're doing everything they can. They're not sitting on their butt. You look at Donald Trump. Donald Trump's still making money. He done went to jail and everything, and they think they're going to, they keeping this man down. This man's still moving. Don't know one monkey stop no show. He's still persistent in what he has to do. He's striving. He's moving. He's determined. He has a motivation that was put in him. His belief in his vision. And don't get me wrong. I understand. A lot of people say, "Oh, he's a racist." You let that drive you to hate someone that's done more. And I'm not going to debate anybody on the politics of him. He's done more than what Biden has done. At least I know the two devils that I see because of what their mouths say. But at the same time, Biden's not going to sit at the table and give you deeds to help build you up. When I've seen Trump do it with blacks, and a lot of people get mad because black people sat with him. I would sit with him, and I wouldn't care what nobody thought, because if he can tell me some deeds that help me move forward in what I'm doing, I'm gonna take it and run with it. That's what a lot of people did. They took it and run with it, and then there's some that didn't. It doesn't matter where the information came from. It matters how you use it. It matters what you do with it. And we have to get off of that. You know, like I remember, which is funny to me, how people be talking about, oh, that's drug money. That's drug money. Don't you know when you go to the bank and they cashing you out and you getting cash, that's drug money too. Have you ever known there are tests? Go look it up on Google where they have tested money and it's got drugs on it. You're touching drug money. It's got all kind of stuff on it. So what? You can't make a claim on something and you're not looking at the whole picture. It doesn't matter where the information comes. Everybody does that. And then they don't listen. I will listen to a homeless man off the street. Why? Because there was a reason why he's homeless. It's not because, if you understand the story of how he got there, there are doctors, there are lawyers that's ended up in this position because of one bad choice. And all you got to do is listen. Some of them are able to figure out a way to get back on their feet, and then some of them, because they didn't push through. You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I hope it do. Watching, enjoying. Thank you, Sandra. You have to push through. Every day is a test. It's a challenge. And you know, no matter what your commitment is to your consistency, you can't flee from it. You can't just say, I give up. You got to keep moving. You know, your finances might not be where you want them, but it can get to where you need it to be if you keep forwarding, moving forward on to where you want to go in life with it. You get what I'm, did that make sense to you? I hope it do, because it does to me. You know, sometimes people don't get it, you know, when they don't look through what they need to do. I'm gonna tell y'all this much. Go read Who Moved My Cheese and think about that. Think about which one of those characters are you when you read Who Moved My Cheese, because it'll show you where you were, where you could be, or where you at now. But you still have to, you know, believe in your vision to get there. And you know, and sometimes the little voices in our head, we don't listen to it because it's the toughest obstacles that get in our way. But it's that faintest voice. I always say when I'm somewhere and I'm listening to my voice, and you know, and some people might sound weird, but I think I like it. I like the fact that even when I'm talking to people, sometimes I hear music. Certain songs play in my head when I'm talking to certain people. I've had songs that warned me of people. I've had songs that brought joy in my heart because of people, or it was a signal for me to tell them, hey, this is what's playing in my head as I'm talking to you. And they look at me kind of weird. And then some people are very accepting of it. But, you know, you have to not be afraid to embrace that little voice in your head, because that little voice is trying to either help you through your struggle or warn you before there is a struggle. Because sometimes the toughest obstacle is the desires that we crave, and because we're so focused on what we want, that we don't even listen to the intuition within us. That's why we said the devil made us do it. That's why we said it's the devil's fault. And then you talking about is the you battling with the devil or demons and stuff, and all you're doing is battling within yourself. Do you Does that make sense to y'all? If not, let me know and I'll try to break it down a little bit more for you. I mean, the reason why I'm going this way is because once you understand the struggles and the battles that you have within yourself and how you can let go and allow God to help you and listen to that, so you won't be confused where you, and and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of times when confusions just come across because there's so much noise in your head. I say departmentalize because that's what I do sometimes. Because I think so much. I think so much. Even like when we sitting up here, I got my mind thinking on other things. Okay, I need to go in there. I just got my other order from Sheen and I got about 6 more outfits I need to try on. I'm sitting up here having a conversation in my head as I'm talking to y'all because I've learned how to not allow everything to come on me and get overwhelmed. And I departmentalize and I have these conversations in order for me to be able to move forward and not complicate everything, and everything that I need to do when it's time for it to jump up and it's saying my turn, it gets to come forward. You know, it's no different than this when you get ready to manifest, because you have to have a clean mental scope. You have to try to quiet all the noises in your head. You have to be able to center yourself to 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 just you and God. And once you're capable, and with me, I have to do that through music. That's I've always that's always been my thing. I've tried to do it when it's quiet like it is now in my house. That doesn't work for me because all of the back noises of everything that I have going on that I'm trying to get done and things that I'm adding on to it is trying to come forward. So I have to bring music and to the forefront with silence that down, and then I get with God. And once I get with God, then I'm able to manifest what I have. And y'all, and manifestation is not that hard. It really is not. All you got to do is feel it, desire it, and feel it, and have no malice in your heart. Literally, have no malice in your heart. If you truly, and when I say no malice in your heart, that means that it comes quicker for you. You have to forgive yourself. A lot of people never understood that when I tell them, yes, who moved my cheese? If you need a copy of that, Sanita, let me know and I can give you a copy of that book. I have the PDF version and I can send you the link to YouTube so you can watch the movie, because I know a lot of people like to watch the movie, but I promise you, you can watch the movie, but that it's a short read, it's a quick read, but it's a good read. Okay? But when you take malice out of your heart, when you take being mad, being hurt, blaming, because you have to take ownership. It takes two to do anything that has you upset with other people. It took two. So you have to change that concept of your thinking and saying, okay, I will, and take ownership of that. When you take ownership and say, hey, I'm not worried about what they did. Let me worry about what I did. I forgive them. So let me correct me. Let me deal with me. Don't think it's easy, because it's not. Because there's a lot of times, people have wronged me, and I sat there for about a good 5 minutes furious. And I'm telling you one that happened recently, because I had this package that was not mine. Somebody went in my account, on my Walmart account, hacked it, and had me locked out. I had to figure out how to get back in it. and they did 200 and I think it was $12 in sales. They bought cake mixes and a doggone twin bed. Bunk beds. They bought bunk beds, $200 bunk bed. But you bought cake mix too. So I called the bank. The bank took care of it, and that was first. And when I found out, because I was getting ready to get groceries, because I don't like going into Walmart. I don't like Walmart, but I will buy certain things out of Walmart and have them to bring it to me to keep me out of Walmart. That's a whole nother backstory. But anyway, once I got into the account and I realized what happened and why it happened, because the way that they were saying this, it was done differently when I was talking to the bank. I went in. Guess what I see? I see the name of the person, the address, this address and everything. I called Walmart. I'm explaining everything to them. They said, okay, we're going to get this rectified. I said, no, y'all need to stop that. Y'all can stop that packages from going to where it said it need to go. The more I thought, but this is longer than 5 minutes though. And the longer I stewed over that, and they were saying that it was stuck. And I kept, working on it through Federal Express for what it was doing. I called Federal Express. I was on it. Even though my bank was giving me my money back, it became the principle of it. I did not want them people. And I spoke it. I was upset because you stole from me. Even though I was told it wasn't my money. So what? You went into my account. You locked me out of my account. It was just like you came in my bedroom while I was naked, as far as I was concerned. I had gotten to the point where I had figured out that they lied and said it was in Houston. These jokers wasn't even 15 minutes away from me. 15 minutes away from me. And guess what I was fixing to do? I had put it in my head, and this is just a moment of weakness. I'm just telling y'all, I'm just sharing this with y'all. I was going over to, what was his name? Manuel, whatever. And I had told my bestie about it, and I told him I was going over there. I was going to put these people on live. I was going to let them know. I was going to call the police. They was not getting that bed on my dime, because yet the bank said they was going to refund me my money. Hadn't got the money. Hadn't got it yet. They said they will, because they had to do an investigation. But it was at that point, it was the principle of the fact that you stole from me. You can't steal from people and think you can just get away with it. It's a lot of people, they don't do anything about it, because they don't know what to do. I'm an investigator. I do research. I found out who these people. I know the apartment complex. I know the apartment number. I know everything. I was gonna sit there and I was gonna follow that FedEx truck until I saw that doggone bed come up off of there. Y'all, do you hear me? I had let this rage of the fact that you stole from me, and I've had this done before. And this time you in my back door. Come on now. And for some odd reason, some said go to work. I went on to work. And my bestie, he didn't ride a ride. He ride a ride. And he wasn't gonna let me go over there by myself. So I had to calm it down. Still was a little upset. And then I had to have a talk with God. And I said, God, I get what's being said to me. I said, I don't care what their purpose of getting that bunk bed is. They don't steal from me. They can't have that bunk bed. I said, I don't know what y'all got to do about it. I said, I don't know what's going to have to happen about it. And I'm still looking at it. I had to call FedEx a couple more times while I was at work, because I was just that gung-ho. And by the time I got ready to leave and get ready to go home, somehow, because I spoke it out and in honesty, and I had to forgive myself for being angry at them. And you know what? And the forgiving them came at midnight. It came at midnight. And I said, God, I got to let you deal with this. But I'm speaking it out. They can't have that bed. I said, I don't care about that cake mix. If they want that cake mix, they can have it. They bought like 6 or 7 cake mixes. I said, they can have it. I don't want them to have that either, but they can have it if that's what it came down to. Do y'all know Monday they didn't get the cake mix? They stopped it. They told me they couldn't stop it, but God got it done. I spoke it out in existence, and I did it with an honest heart. And I forgave myself for being angry because they stole money from me. And you want to know why I was really angry about it? Because it was the first of the month. I had rent to pay. You took money out my rent. Even though I had got it covered, I had to go into something else and get something else and do something else. I got it covered, but I shouldn't have had to do that. That's just how I felt. But then on top of it, and I was like, I didn't even worry about the bed. I just knew God was going to handle it. The bed never made it to where it was going. It got canceled. And I know people who said that they end up getting the packages, but they didn't get that. You know what I'm saying? That there's a lot of times people end up getting things that they don't desire because we don't speak out. We have to understand that our words are powerful. If you know God lives within you, because if you watch Lion King, that's one of my favorite kid movies. And that song where it said he lives in you, not just your ancestors that lives in you, God lives in you too. And if you understand that God lives in you and you can talk to him, whatever you desire, it can come to pass. It can come to pass. Family, faith, finances should be your entry mark going into 2024. Family, faith, and finances. That's what me and my cousin have been talking about all year. And we live by that. Family, faith, and finance. And if you need that in your life, we will be doing another, and it will be live and in person. We'll be doing another vision board party, and we're going to go a little bit harder because it's going to be on mirrors. But understand, when you're focused in honesty and with a pure heart, and you're passionate from your heart of what you want to come to pass, it will come to pass. I'm telling you what I know. It's happened to me multiple times. Now, once I get it down packed to where I can get the lotto and I disappear, y'all will know. I'm just playing. But yes, I am trying to manifest that. But at the same time, there are things that have come to pass for me that have come to, that has come to pass. I mean, I just know what I know. Be grateful. That's another thing. Be grateful for what's already happened. Yeah, I'm saying it's already happened. It just hadn't gotten to you yet. I know you heard that before, and that's just true. Be grateful. It will come to you. It will happen. Do you know early part of this year, and I can share this. One of mine was that I was going to be an influencer. I always wanted to be an influencer. I always done my own like little reviews. I had spoke that. I've been out and I've tried to get the videos and everything together because I was trying to figure out how I wanted to go about with this. Alois and Patronella and a couple other of my friends, Toyana and them, all have been around me and, heard me talk about this and stuff. And this is just one I'm sharing with y'all. And so I had a little talk back in January with myself and God. And the ladies can tell you, and God told me when we were talking and they were talking about their cars and everything, God told me to pray. And, and usually, Alois will tell me, you need to pray. And I usually cringe to that. But I understand. But, in my head, I ain't ready. I'm not feeling it. I'm not but in the instance, it's like I'm there, because I let God use me. But when he told me to pray, I was trying to wait. He said, no, pray now. And I was like, okay, y'all got to get quiet. And I prayed. It wasn't just for them, it was for me too. Because I didn't know which way I wanted to go. And that was the number one thing on my list that I needed to come to pass. My numbers weren't where I wanted them to be. I didn't know what platform I was going to be on. I knew that I was going to do it. It didn't even take a month. I was at 10,000 followers on TikTok. Didn't take a month. Did not take a month. I went from like 500 followers to 10,000 followers within a month. And I'm still climbing slowly because I'm doing the influence thing now. I have people who send me clothes, perfumes, and other things. I have someone that's sending me cologne. I get swimsuits. I get other stuff that I have to review. I have food I have to review, liquor that I have to review. I have a lot of things coming through that I review as an influencer to let them know my thoughts. And that's something that I want to do. Am I getting monetized? Didn't think it through. I just knew I wanted to be an influencer to be able to do reviews because of my platform of Exquisite Taste. My networking platform of Exquisite Taste houses Let's Bring It to the Table. Did I think Let's Bring It to the Table would be where it's at today? I really didn't. But I spoke it into existence and I let God deal with that. A lot, and if you go and read, I think it says that they say that a podcast, but this is a streaming podcast, and they say all the time that a streaming podcast is only, when they get started, some of them only last less than 6 months. And guess what? I've surpassed that. I started in 2020 in the back of the message thing, and I'm still here. I'm still here. And not only do I have Let's Bring It to the Table, I have Knowledge Power Hour, I have the Exquisite Taste Reviews, I have Exquisite Taste Travels. I have several of these things that has come to pass. And that's why I'm telling you, when you do it from your heart, it will come to pass. Anything that you manifest, like I said, get one with God. And just tell him how grateful you are about what is to come, what he has already done. For that abundance that you bring. And he'll bring it. And a lot of people think when somebody say abundance, they're talking about money. Abundance don't have to be money. Abundance can be your mentality, your mental, the clarity that you get from that. Because money is easy to get. A lot of people don't think that, but it is. It's easy to get. Peace of mind isn't. You have to fight every day for that. But if you ask God for it, and you know in your heart that you can get it, it's yours. But guess what you have to do? You have to start dissecting and start taking yourself out of the realm of the people that you deal with. Because sometimes the people you're dealing with is the reason why you don't have peace of mind. I've been told all the time, everybody can't go with me. And that's not nothing bad. That don't mean that if I'm going here, that don't mean you have to go with me. We still here, but you can't just go with me where I'm going. You might not be ready. You have to get ready. If you're not ready, then get yourself ready. I'm a firm believer in meeting people where they at. And I'm trying to take you where I'm going, and you can't get together to get there, I'm gonna leave you where you at. you're going to feel it too. And then you're going to have to get it together. And then you can be like, hey, I'm ready. And then I have to make the decision if I'm going to come back and get you. Or you can run up and catch me. That's the best thing to do. Because if I'm so busy, I don't want to have to stop to where I have to come back and get you. And then I'm missing out on what I'm doing up here. So run up, catch me. I won't be that far. But manifesting, like I said, is easy. It's how you speak. It's how you do. It's the things you say. In the way you say it. A lot of people, if you understand chakras, if you don't, let me know. If you understand when people be saying low vibration versus high vibrations, understand that's really a thing. Your chakras of where you're trying to speak into your life. Understand, wound is the world. So understand your chakras throughout your whole body in order for you to get where you want to be in life. Your affirmations that you have, if and when you're grateful, well, I'm telling you that grateful is something real. I tell myself all the time, there are no limits to what I can and will achieve. Put them on your wall. Put them on your wall. A lot of people use the I am. It's not, you can do that. You're worthy of the wealth that you desire. Wealth don't mean money all the time. I keep trying to tell y'all. I'm always telling myself I'm financially free because I want for nothing. I am financially free. I will want for nothing. And I tell people I've been there. I know what it's like to not have to look at my bank account and I'm gonna do what I want. I lived in that time frame. It was very short because life started lifing and it hit me when I had to force myself into doing some decisions that made my life better. I had to get rid of some people out of my life. And it made my life a lot better and I wouldn't change a thing. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy what I'm doing and everything. So you have to change. And change ain't easy. That's just like I tell anybody, we so used to drinking, some people are so used to drinking carbonated drinks. I don't have to have it. I know what that stuff do to your system. I tell people all the time, when I was about 15, 16 years old and I was driving and something was wrong with my battery, I didn't know what it was. And I had a Coke in my car. And my dad came and he was like, oh, I see what the problem is. And he looked in there and saw my Coke. He said, give me that. I gave him that Coke. He poured that Coke on that battery and it ate that acid on that battery off that battery. I was traumatized because I used to drink a Coke almost every day, if not 3 or 4. And I'm like, if it's eating off that battery, what the heck is it doing to the inside of me? I never touched a Coke except for one time. And that's when I was pregnant and I had heartburn so bad. And my grandmama told me I needed to burp. And she told me, you either get a Coke or you get you an onion. And at that time, I couldn't stand the smell of onions. So I got the Coke. I didn't even take a sip. And I burped so hard, I felt better. And I didn't drink none of them. I didn't. But I'm telling y'all, you can speak those affirmations and be kind to yourself. Be honest with yourself. Be one with God. And be grateful. Be forgiving. Because whether you know it or not, The negativity that you deflect on other people, it's not about them, it's all about you. It's you. If you're mad at someone, do you necessarily have to be mad at them? Do you have to allow people to? I know a person that I used to work with, they were just like my ex. They couldn't stand to see nobody happy. If you were smiling, what are you smiling for? And be on the attack because you're happy. Don't be that person. Change your outlook of how you see things because this world is cruel. I tell people all the time, limit your TV watching when it comes to the news and all that. I read certain things, that's dealing with the news. I don't watch it because it's something about that brings misery because you don't never see anything kind. It's very rarely you see anything kind on the news, on any of the news outlet. So be mindful of that. Don't allow these people to come into your life and affect your spirit in a way that you're bitter. You look at all this stuff that's going on right now. And I'm gonna say this real quick because we're not gonna be on here much longer. And the only reason why I'm saying is because it bothers me that it is what it is. This war between the genders of black men and black women. Why is this going on with these folks now? Why is it? And then is these war of black women on black women. Why? When black women get attacked, we got black women who justify it or say, or better yet, they say they deserved it, or oh, it wasn't his fault, that was because of her or whatever. It's not, you don't feel empathy at the fact. I ain't even talking about what the man did. I'm talking about what the woman go through. Whether she got hit with a brick, whether she got hit in the mouth, whether she got beat down just because she was sitting in a chair and told a man she was not interested in him, whether she was snatched and raped, you always say it was her fault because she was wearing a certain item or she was doing, you have no empathy. It's like you want to hound in and say, this is what a woman deserves. And then when the girls that you deem as ugly get a good looking man or any type of man and you ain't got one, you want to know why, how, or she a big girl and she pulling in men, how she pulling them? Why is you so concerned about what others are doing and you can't even be concerned about yourself? And then you wondering why things ain't happening right for you. Get your house in order here and here. I understand life can throw us for some loops. I know life can throw us for some real bad things. Trust, if you knew my story, even though a lot of people say I look like I ain't never been through no things, but if you only knew my story, only a few people know what I've been through. If you only knew what I've been through, I wonder, would you say the same thing about me? But guess what? I'm strong enough to counterattack. You know what I'm saying? I can counterattack it. Some people are not strong enough. But you got to, as women, when you see another woman that you personally know, start in being mean about another black woman, check that fool. That's your responsibility. Just like we want these men to check these men when they being disrespectful and they're saying this crazy stuff, you need to check her. You really do. Because this is getting out of hand. Women being attacked every day. It's not cool. Or they're getting snatched. But what did she do? Why she had to do anything? Or when it's a young girl, oh, she just being fast. That gets to in under my spirit so bad that we just that ignorant as mothers, as sisters, as cousins, as aunties, that you're gonna say a 12-year-old is being fast. Why aren't you covering her? Why aren't you helping her? Why aren't you teaching her how a little girl is supposed to be? Can't nobody say that my nieces, there's only one I didn't get to get hands on and to teach. Well, no, it's two. I forgot. I'm sorry, Brianna. She's the baby. She's my other brother, DJ 783's daughter. It's only two. I hadn't had a direct hand in, but I pray for my nieces. And I taught them to love themselves above anything. And they know how to act. And then their parents are very strong people who have enforced that. But a lot of people can't say that. They too busy living their own life and then speaking evil on others. Do y'all realize how many kids is missing because of that stupid type of thinking? How many women and men who are missing because of the way that we think and the things that go on? Do we not understand that? We got to do better. And we got to start doing better about each other. Stop some of the stuff that I hear on these social media platforms, to me, is ridiculous. It is it's not even needed or wanted. I don't my thing is, why are we talking about that? Where's the solution? Why are y'all not getting a solution? It's just like we gotta just blame, 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 blame. Nobody's taking ownership. It's just blame, blame, blame. When are we gonna take ownership so we can go on and have an abundant life? If you sit in shit, you smell like it. You want to be a part of that? Then so be it. But I choose not to be. But I just wish that us, as because we are a beautiful group of people. There are some, and I'm not worried about them. You put them on that list and you just put them off to the side and you don't deal with them anymore. But the ones that you deal with, that that's good and wholesome people, then you deal with. But when you out and about and you see that another female is not, and everybody ain't your friend. So you got to do what's best and do what's right. I'm not the type, I used to not be the type and have female friends because I knew how messy women were. I knew how mean girls could be because of how you are and you carry yourself, and they deem you as being something that you're not because they don't know you. And I realized later on in life it was because of jealousy and enviousness. And all you doing was being you. Your cousins knew you were being you, but they didn't know you were being you. And if they got to know you, then they'll realize that you weren't as bad or as whatever they thought. So we got to come out of that. When are we going to grow up and we're going to come out of that? That's all I'm saying. Because if you want to get to this part in your life to where you're able to speak and it comes like that, change your heart. Change your heart. And anything and everything that has happened in your life, I'm telling all of y'all this, anything and everything that has happened in your life, that's happened in your past, that people are holding over your head, you let them keep holding it. Sooner or later, their hands gonna get tired, their arms gonna get tired. You ain't got to deal with it. You know who you are now. That's all that matters. Who you are now. And understand that the abundance will start flowing. And then when the abundance starts flowing, that's when you see grace and mercy. And it comes. It will come. But you got to start here and here. You got to stop the thinking, and you got to change your mindset and the concepts of everything that you have going on that's going to betterment you. But you got to listen to that small voice and let that voice speak out to where it can be louder than what it is. But sometimes Don't get to my voice because we're too busy doing everything else instead of listening to ourselves within. They tell you, God tell you all the time that you got to feed the spirit. If you're directed with Him and you're feeding the spirit, guess what? When they said that the flesh will die, it's not that the flesh will die. The flesh will follow suit into what you need it to do. If you're trying to eat better, yeah, the flesh is going to fight you. But guess what? If your mental is strong and your heart is strong and you know this is what you are needing, you can make that flesh fall in suit. Yes, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. But guess what? You're doing for what's better. I work out. My stomach hurt right now because I'm sore because of the abs that I done. But guess what? It's gonna have to hurt because I increased what I needed to do. It's gonna have to hurt because this is for me. This is the betterment of me. And no matter what it is, that's what you gotta do. So I really appreciate y'all staying on with me. I really do. If you're here, if you didn't get to be on here earlier and you're watching this in the replay, just state it down there that you watched the replay. Again, y'all still have time to share this with other people. I appreciate that. Let's get the word out about Let's Bring It to the Table, or the Exquisite Taste Network, so people can be able to get to the Knowledge Power Hour. We're going to get ready to get back started into the business section because we got some more things coming in that, and I'm getting really, really excited about that. But outside of that, y'all, as I always say, if there's no respect at your table, remove them. But if you're sitting at someone else's table and respect is not being served, leave it. Because you don't have to sit at nobody's table that's not respecting you. Because guess what? The one thing I like about my father, he said he will build a table before your enemies. And just because they sitting there don't mean they get to eat from it. You eat. All right? So y'all be blessed and don't sweat the small stuff because life is what it is. But life can be giving if you allow it, and it can give you a greater life. So be honest with yourself and change your heart to change your mind so you can manifest the abundance that you desire in your life. And if you still have questions, DM me. Those who have my number, you want to reach me. So I'll talk to y'all soon. Y'all have a blessed night.